Hey everybody, this is Brian with BackStage360. I'm sitting here with somebody that's wanted in 8 countries and 2 states, Sam Diego. Sam, thanks for joining us.
He got that the other way around, but that's okay, mate. I like that. I like that. I think I'm actually going to change it back to that. 8 countries and 2 states. I like that.
Well, I've heard that there's more states than that actually kicked you out, but that's okay. I think I still have you topped.
There is, but thanks to the current presidency, those are null and void.
We're here for the Sons of Charity event in the Conservation Water Park. Is that correct?
No, that one has like roaring rapid rides and log rides, and you know, this is the Water Conservation Garden. It's a nonprofit dedicated to educating kids and adults on conserving water at your home, at your business, replacing water expensive, lawns and landscapes with little or zero water needed, with xeriscape, as well as ideas and education and training on how to convert your household into a low or zero water needed aesthetic. Yeah.
Well, my backyard only has gopher holes, so I don't think that they'd
cool.
be able to do anything.
All
Yeah,
right.
gotta water the gophers.
Pellet guns, gasoline, and dynamite. That's all I'm going to say.
So the charity event. This
Yes.
is the charity's been in existence 4 years. This is the first year that you've had an event such as this. Is that correct?
Well, no and yes. We had a really cool event. It was like a third-party event that was called Cancer Stock. Not my name. I didn't choose that. It was like a Woodstock, but to benefit kids fighting cancer. Some people thought, well, what, cancer stock? But we had to explain it a lot. But some very really great people helped us put that event together, invited us to be a part of it, I should say. And we had multiple bands, originals as well as tribute bands that did that, that event. But when Kaboo happened, and this is probably where I'm inviting a lawsuit, I'm just waiting for it. When I saw Kaboo,
This is what we call cutting. and
no,
editing.
no. By all means, I dare you, Kaboo. I dare you. Come after me. I'm just kidding. To the lawyers representing Kaboo, just kidding.
Call Sam Diego.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Not Backstage 360.
No. Call John. John. I'll give you the phone number later. No, when I saw Kaboo and the way that was being done, and all these big names, and people, going to all these things, I'm going, well, what could Sons of Charity do? Because when you hear Sons of Charity, everybody always says, oh, Sons of Anarchy? No, we're not a motorcycle club. Yeah, but Sons of Anarchy, Sons of Charity, come on. I'm like, yeah, well, I was watching that TV show, and it showed all the negative aspects of motorcycle riders, bikers, whatever, motorcycle clubs. But, there's a lot of people that ride motorcycles that aren't in motorcycle clubs, that every time you're on the road and you see a whole group of motorcycle riders and big groups on weekends, 9 times out of 10, they're raising money for a great cause. I ride motorcycles, been riding motorcycles for half of my life. And I love hot rods and custom classic cars. And so I thought, well, what if we united all these people under the banner of the cause for kids fighting cancer? Because I've been volunteering with kids fighting life-threatening illnesses for the last 10 years and dressing up as a pirate because people say, do you know who you look like? And I'm like, I don't know, Charlie Sheen? No, the guy, the pirate and all that. And I'm like, all right, I can do something with that. And so I dressed up as a pirate, did it for a fundraiser here in East County, right across the street from us right now at Hooley's Irish Pub. And they were doing a East County, San Diego Salvation Army food and toy drive for Christmas. And somebody suggested that I show up dressed as a pirate and help out at that event. I talked to the owner of the pub. He found out about me, asked that I meet with him through the bartender who's from Ireland. His name is Eddie, and I owe Eddie big time, because if it wasn't for Eddie asking the owner to meet with me, I wouldn't be here today. So I showed up dressed as a pirate in the most ridiculous outfit you can imagine. And somehow I convinced some San Diego Charger players, hold on, I know you don't like them anymore, but back then we loved them. some of the Charger players came up and were like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you? You know, my kid loves you and love your movies. Thanks, Johnny, for showing up here." And I go, I thought it was a joke. So I posed for a picture and signed his stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever. He comes back later, he goes, "Hey, man, that's not funny. I thought you were like JD, man." You know, and somebody told him, obviously. And so that was a poor imitation. But anyways, long story short is that turned into coming out on KUSI News, who was there broadcasting live. And before you know it, I was traveling the country doing celebrity tribute artist stuff. That got weird after a year, and so I decided to just do that for kids in hospitals or for great causes or community events, and that's what led to Sons of Charity.
Well, you may not remember this, but I actually met you at another charity event that you were attending with a mutual friend, Clint August.
Oh,
And it was the May Ride.
yeah.
And you were in your Johnny Depp uniform, if you
Oh.
will. And I actually
You mean
asked
as the pirate?
as the
As
pirate
the pirate called Captain Sam Diego?
that
Thank you, Walt Disney.
see that now you're getting sued again.
No,
So
not anymore.
So
We have an agreement.
I asked you because I saw a young lady standing there, and I thought I'd like to get a picture of her, but you know photographers aren't allowed to just do that. So I thought, well, I'll put Captain Jack in the shot. And that'll look
You mean
good.
Captain Sam?
Captain Sam? Exactly
You're
right.
gonna get me sued. I'm
I
gonna
don't
pull a
wanna do
Robert
it.
Downey Jr. I'm done here. No, this is too Diane Sawyer-ish. I'm out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
So this event is close and dear to your heart. I know that because this particular event raises money for children that are terminally ill with cancer. Is that correct?
You don't want to say terminally ill. You want to say life-threatening, because terminal implies that that's a death sentence. And I'm not saying this to correct you in that way to make you feel
Yeah.
bad. I'm saying this because I was educated in that way when you know people say that word, and it's not a PC thing. You never want to put that on people. You know, put that word out like that, because these kids fight. And much like the Pirates movie, when that pirate captain that became so infamous said, "Fight to the bitter end," you know, that is literally what these kids and families do. Regardless of whatever the doctors are saying, whatever statistics are saying, or whatever the hospital or research says, you have to fight every day. And tonight we dedicated this entire concert, this entire event, to Cheyenne, a 4-year-old little girl who was literally a pirate princess. She would dress up with a pink bandana and hot pink everything whenever she knew that Captain Sam Diego was going to come and visit her. And we would do treasure hunts at Children's Hospital. And we'd sneak in there with, the families would invite me to go there. But when she wasn't allowed to leave the hospital room, sometimes she'd get permission to go out into the garden outside. And they have like this little skiff, almost serendipitously. They had like a little pirate skiff, little boat, little dinghy. And I would go in there and I would tell her these tall tales, and she'd giggle and laugh. And it was amazing. And we lost her a year ago today, and a year ago yesterday. A year ago today, I stood in front of a group of San Diego Parrot Head Club who did a fundraiser for us and raised $20,000 for our cause. That helped us help a tremendous amount of families with the fundraising that they did. And I stood on that amphitheater on the last night of that 3-day fundraising event that they do every year at Campland by the Bay. And there was just a sea of people in parrot head garb waving little light sticks around. And the last song was being played at the very end of the event. And they asked me to come up and say a few words dressed in full pirate garb. And I went up there and I let everybody know that we had lost Cheyenne the night before, and that I wanted to do something very special with the family. Now, you may sit there as Background 360 and say to yourself, why the heck would anybody go up there and announce the passing of a child for the last song of the evening at an event? That sounds like a total downer. But I have become somewhat of unwillingly expert at walking that tightrope of those situations where energy's up and you have to come up and deliver something like that and then bring the crowd back up and rally them. And that's what a pirate captain does. And so when I told everybody about that, and I said that we needed to celebrate her because we didn't lose her. Okay, we didn't lose.
Well,
her.
it's called continuing the fight. Yes.
Exactly. We are literally finishing her fight. And so what I told everybody that was there is that we needed to all shout, on the count of 3, "We love you, Cheyenne," so we can capture that on video and say it so loud that she would hear us in heaven. And so when I was telling her story, there was people, visible people in the front rows, standing up, just crying, wiping tears. And when I said, "Can we do that?" and the entire crowd, from the stage as far as the eye could see, just shouted, "Yes, yes!" And there's just like this roar in the crowd. And I said, "On 3, let's yell, 'We love you, Cheyenne.'" And when we did that, it was just like a roar of voices that went from the stage as far as the eye can see. I videotaped it. It's online. Everybody's waving light sticks around. And it was one of the most powerful moments I've ever had and experienced. And the roar of the crowd, and there was this cheering and beauty and people holding up the heart signs. Eat your heart out, Bono. I'm just saying, eat your heart out, Bono. So I showed that to the family at the memorial service the following day, where I was asked to speak, and I showed that privately to the family on the video. They just cried happy tears and hugged me and said, "Let all those people know." That meant a lot.
Well, it should be noted that we did the same thing this evening.
We did, and I brought in a master bagpiper, Robert Burns, who came and honored her with 3 beautiful songs that he played continuously, and he was crying afterwards when we came up and we hugged after that. That was done to honor her because tonight is dedicated to Cheyenne.
This event, by the time people see this video, it's pretty much going to be a promotion for next year. And I know that you're going to need more help, and people need to get involved with situations like this. You can either complain about life or you can go do something about it. So for everybody watching this in advance of next year's promotion, what can people do? How can they sign up? How can they get involved with you to help?
Well, first of all, let me just say this. If you're even tempted to complain about life and your everyday things, after hearing this story about a 4-year-old girl who fought courageously till that bitter end of her turn in the fight, but is now inspiring us to finish her fight, you have no right to complain about your day as a grown adult.
They have issues.
A grown-ass adult. There's a child behind that camera right now. I'm so sorry I just said that. Anyways, you have no right to complain about anything in your life once you put yourself, just even for a half a second, in the shoes of these children and the parents of these children. It really forces you to cowboy or cowgirl up and face things head on and be inspired to not just make a difference, be the difference.
Well, as a parent, I can tell you that that's why we wanted to get involved with this also. That's why we got involved a lot with Clint and the May Ride this year that you were attending.
Wait a minute, you're involved with Clint?
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Hold on a second. You didn't know? I didn't know Clint was involved. I'm kidding. Clint is one of my best friends in the whole world. He is my brother from another mother. People behind the camera were worried because
I got nervous for a second.
There's a kid back there. They thought I was going somewhere else with that. No, I could have, but Clint is he is literally my brother. Literally,
He's got your heart. He takes his
what?
time.
How did you, who said that? The secret's out, Clint. I'm so sorry. He does have my heart.
I'm sorry to embarrass you.
Oh, no. We joke like that all the time. On the air and off the air, we joke like that. On camera, off camera. If you haven't seen any of the Facebook Lives that Clint August and Sam Diego do, I challenge you. Look for them. They are pretty good. We're actually going to take that show on the road with his wife's permission.
He's going to have to get an excuse from the radio station.
He's got it already. Yeah, we don't ask permission. Ooh,
so,
get the mic.
So tell me how people can actually get involved. There's a website. How do they get involved with you?
See, I'm not allowed to say any jokes right now. Why did you do this to me? I'm chained up, man. I'm literally chained up like the pirate right now. You throw those lines at me, and I can't do anything with them.
We're gonna have them walk the plank later.
This is just wrong. How do you want to get involved with me? Then accept my challenge Accept my challenge to not just make a difference, but be the difference. Don't just share posts on Facebook. Thank you for sharing them. There is a difference. When we have events like this, I am going to ask you a huge favor. People become so used to seeing people share stuff, okay? Pick up the phone, write a letter. Remember when we used to do that? Actually pick up the phone and have a conversation with your friends and say, can you please join me in supporting this cause, this event? Send them an email. Send them a text. Get a hold of these people. Personally get a hold of people, because just sharing an event, like an event like this, I'm not saying sharing other people's Facebook posts. I'm talking about things that support families who can't afford to pay their rent, their house payment, or their car payment because their child is fighting cancer. Okay, so if you want to get involved, go to sonsofcharity.com, click on the donate button, make a difference immediately right there. If you don't have money and you say, well, I don't have money, how can I support? Show up to our events. Ask how you can volunteer. Sign up as one of our volunteers. Become one of our Sons of Charity family. We have an application process. Not just anybody can hang out with us when we're hanging out with the kids. Not just anybody can help out. You have to have, charity, passion and experience. You don't have to have experience to be one of our volunteers. What I'm saying is, whatever your skill set is, we will apply it to where we can use you the most. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. But if I always say this, and I will end with this, I'm sorry it's going so long, but the greatest gift you can possibly give, even better than money, is your time. And the reason I say that is because once that's given, you don't get it back.
Well, I always say that people don't really care if you care. They care if you care enough to do something and cause yourself to commit to an action.
Exactly.
And that action is supporting an event like this, supporting your causes, bringing money in. These people need money. It takes time, energy, and people physically being involved,
right.
Not just clicking on like, right?
Right, exactly. Well, there you go. He summed it all up, mate. I'm done here. Bottle of rum, please.
Well, with that summary, stick around. I think we're going to be talking to some the artists from tonight's show. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Yeah, wait. You know who it is?
Who is it?
It's not Dave Grohl, but it could be.
How are we going to know?
Well, you'll need to ask Chelsea Scott.
Well, hopefully we're going to get Chelsea Scott next, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you,
so
brother.
much, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.